So today I want to talk to you about a couple of misconceptions that people have when they're trying to do a good idea or theory of rolling out some muscle tightness or tension, but in fact they can sometimes exacerbate their symptoms or do further damage. Typically, the two major spinal complaints are lumbar pain as well as thoracic and cervical tension, tightness, impingement. It's very easy to get wrapped up into thinking about just treating or rolling the area of problem. Many times everybody comes in and they're like, can you just show me how to roll out this area? It just has a lot of tension in it. And my first warning to them is to hold off on rolling on the actual location of your pain and do a better job of rolling out the areas that are actually causing the symptoms that you're experiencing. A lot of the times when we are experiencing pain, we'll start recruiting our legs and our arms to try and protect us. If your spinal column is not being supported properly by your abdominals, your thoracic region, your cervical cores, if they're not talking together and coming together as a unit and learning how to move fluently through everything while they maintain that position, what happens is we flex or we extend, and what happens is our body will register that that's not good and it'll lock into muscles that are trying to protect us. But if that happens for too long, what happens is we start getting pulled on by our spine by these big prime movers that shouldn't really be doing all this stability. So what I kind of try to focus on teaching people is that you want to make sure that your hips and your legs and the joints surrounding your spine, meaning shoulders, scapular region, your hips, all those things need to move freely and fluidly so that this is not constantly being pulled on by a muscle that is supposed to do one action on off, but yet if we start focusing too much on stabilizing through those things, we become stiff. And if I'm stiff here, then I'm going to flex more through that region. So long story made short, what I want you to focus is not trying to re-aggravate or bring more symptoms and pain to an area that's already yelling at you to say stop, but instead work on making sure that your hips and the sides of your legs, your IT band, your TFL, your quads, your hip flexors, all those muscles that usually come in when you're in pain to start compensating and stabilizing need to learn how just to relax, let the tone out of them, and just move freely so that the back isn't having to be pulled on by all these really big, strong muscles that shouldn't be constantly on. So when rolling out your hips, we have further videos. If you want to look into those later, you can get a little bit more detail. This is just one action of one rollout that you can do that will help release some of the tension that forms. And afterwards, anytime you're rolling or trying to get an area to free up, you want to make sure that you kind of do either a squat or an arm raise or something to be able to feel that rolling session helped things. You don't want to ever come off of a roller and feel like your pain has been exacerbated, because that would say that you're doing something wrong, okay? So again, cite the other videos that we have. If you're rolling, if you're experiencing pain in this area, a common place that I'll tell people to roll out is this area, because of the fact that these create tightness in the shoulder when we're driving, when we're typing. While we're doing most of our daily tasks, we get pulled this way. So if I expect these to go back into a proper position, then I need to have the movement and the release here to let that happen. If these muscles are so tight, but yet I'm saying go back, you can see where that becomes a pinching agent back here. So a lot of detail can be found again in further videos on this, but just keep in mind that you don't just want to be trying to roll out these areas of pain, rather figure out either through a therapist or your doctor which muscles are problematic, and holding tone that you need to be able to release and figure out that are actually causing the pull on your spine.